so far to go.
And with these brand new scars and this broken heart, it's hard to really know if there's a reason and if I've ever seen. But I wanna believe it.
Please don't give up on me. Yeah.
Please, God.
Please don't give up on me. His grace will never run out. There's enough to go round and round. His love's an ocean where your shame is drowned. If you know what he knows, then you know.
His grace will never run out. There's enough to go round and round. His love's an ocean where your shame is drowned. If you know what he knows, then you know.
His grace will never run out. There's enough to go round and round. His love's an ocean where your shame is drowned. If you know what he knows, then you know you won't give up on him. If you know what he knows, then you know.
The final lap. We are right here with former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. In fact, the final one. He was the second and final. Yeah, President. I wasn't changing people too much. So, yeah. During the regime of former President George Weah,
But you knew
Minister Wisset Blambo is here. Okay. We'll go over to him right now. He's not one that you get in studio. He's not one of those you easily get in a studio, but we've been able to get him here today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Julius, for the invite.
Okay. How is life going? How is everything after officialdom? You were, I think, way back a representative.
12 years,
Yeah.
voluntarily left the legislature.
That means you were not booted out as a result of an election.
No.
Okay. And then you became, I think, deputy minister. of
Deputy
State.
minister for 4 years.
Okay, and then Minister of State for a couple of years. How is it like as a person working in the legislature, working in the executive? You are one of the few persons who've been able to accomplish that.
Vice experience, that's all. I started at the executive mansion at the age of 27 in the office of the late recent death of Madame Nancy Doe. And then where I started from, then I came down to the Minister of State office itself as administrative assistant. And then before I went to the legislature as representative of Grand Crew. I was there for 12 years, and 2017 I said, no, Grand Crew, you can select anybody or elect anybody. I'm done. And I left, so I was not booted out.
Well, others could say maybe you saw the light at the end of the tunnel that perhaps you wouldn't have made it. So
I didn't. My man, today I go Grand Crew, I won't be senator, say I will win. But I'm not interested.
Okay.
It was a family decision. My wife and I made a decision. That decision was made 2011 after my election for the second term. That decision was that what will you do after here? I said, well, I'm going back home. And what was the back home I was going? I went back to my church. That was my decision.
Oh, are you a preacher of the gospel?
I'm a bishop of a denomination.
Oh, okay. Good.
That's why you don't see me on air every day. You don't see me in the news. You won't see me every Sunday. Just turn to my church Facebook page, you will see me. But radio, no. That's why I don't let people tarnish my reputation. Because I built it over the years.
Okay. Now, what was it like? Man, I know not. I know certain details will not come up. But what was it like managing the affairs of President Weah? Who was he? What kind of leader was he? In terms of managing his affairs from the office in.
He listened. One of the good things about it is that if you want the President Weah to tell him something, he will give you a listening ear. And you will tell him what you want to tell him. He will bring his own suggestion. And then two of you will go there and see how you can come to one conclusion. And then you move. That's how I experienced it. Up to now, even before I came here, I went to him.
Oh, okay.
So that's just the kind of person he is. He listens to people. He's not a dictator to say, oh, no, move right here. And what I say is the final. No. How I see him to be. Others might see him to be different. But me, the way he deal with me.
Others say he is opinionated heavily.
That's your opinion. I can go against your opinion, but the way I see him is what I'm telling you. He's secure. He listen to you and hear what you will tell him. Then, if he finds it very necessary, he will agree with you. If not, he will tell you, go think about it again and come back.
Okay. So the reason we called you here because it's about the ministry of state. What sort of ministry did you people inherit? Were you appointed deputy in 2018?
Yes, I was appointed deputy 2018.
Good.
February.
Good. So what sort of ministry did you people inherit?
I wanted it to be like the last point, but let me just say it. After 15 years of civil crisis, Liberia was a country where law and order became a problem. And rule of law then became a problem through the several interim government. But when Madam Salih was elected, I was then across the road, my first term. I served on the Committee on Peace and Reconciliation my first 6 years. I chair. Then I served on the Committee on Executive, the third ranking officer in the House of Representatives. So I was dealing with Madam Salih, President Barker now then was Vice President. I was dealing with then. Madam Salih laid a very good foundation for this country by putting some anti-graft laws into place that were passed by the legislature and was signed and became law. So anything that concerning governance, that foundation was laid by Madam Salih. We came in and met it there. We made that foundation there. All anti-grafts were in place. I will tell you something personal about me.
Mm-hmm.
When I ran the campaign, my intention was to go to NASCO.
Okay.
So after the election, when in my county Grand Crew, I gave President Weah 91% of Grand Crew vote. We came to Monrovia and I went to him. He said, where you want to go? I think I want to go to NASCO. I'm giving you the example for a reason.
Okay.
He said, NASCO? I said, yes. He said, NASCO is a tenure position. It's governed by tenure. So if you want NASCO, then you have to wait until the man that is there now tenure is over. Then I send you there. Are you prepared to wait? I'm telling you because he respected tenure position. he respected the law, and he still respects the law. So when he told me, you still want to wait, I said, well, I don't know, anywhere you can send me. When we were seeing this, Senator now, Maggie, Amos and Samuel too were sitting with us in the room.
Okay.
So Minister Maggie at the time then said, this man's whole life was in a mansion. So I think he would be a help to me. That's how President said, okay, then you go and be Minister Maggie deputy for administration. That's how I became deputy for administration, because my whole life has been in the mansion. So I'm saying this to say, we inherited laws and we respected those laws. For now, today, there's a problem. So when we inherited Ministry of State, the first thing I did was to know the personnel who were there.
Okay.
We have something about 300 plus civil servants
Okay.
that were on the payroll. Then we met people there who weren't on payroll, who were on supplementary or on contract.
So supplementary was existing before you people
Of course.
came? Okay.
The Unity Party took people there that were on supplementary payroll and even on contract. We didn't kick them out.
Oh,
Oh no,
they stayed.
they stayed there. President Weah told me, don't dismiss anybody. This is Liberia, and this country is for every Liberian citizen. Let them stay. So we kept them there. Nobody would tell me that.
Do you remember what the figure was or is?
No, I can't remember. It had been some long time, but we met them there.
Were there many?
Of course, there were many, close to 100. We met them there. So we inherited supplementary. We inherited contractors. Somebody they say consultant. Maybe in the account, maybe in public affairs and this and that, maybe in the PDU and all that. We had them there. Even the present deputy minister for administration was a cadet in PDU. When Madam Sadi was there.
Okay.
So this is what we inherited. And we didn't take anybody out. Now, in any governance process after campaign, there are partisans that run your campaign. Partisan that run campaign. And after the campaign, they expect to be looked at, to be cared for. You can't abandon them. Even in the great United States of America, it happens. In recent history, if you check, you see Elon Musk taking people out. You know who they bring in? That they are partisans. Who were, how they call it, who ran their campaign. So it was then time to put people on the supplementary to help our people. Unlike this present administration that paying people $3,000, we're giving our supplementary employees $150, $200. If you see the other report saying 3.5 million was spent outside of the budget for outside of appropriation, that's some of the reasons. Because they have taken people and given them fabulous salary. When Liberians are in the street, they don't have food to eat. For us, 150, 200. 250 was the highest.
Were they, so part of the issues were they were not properly employed, no employment letters, no personnel file, no, even though the human beings existed, but the record system.
That's not true. If you go to the Ministry of State, not a person that was put on the payroll, supplementary payroll, that was not given an approval. I gave approval letter to the HRO and send it to account so that the two can work together. Because if you send people down to personnel, you got to send them with letters. They can't just go, hey, employ the person. Hey, employ the person. It doesn't work like that. all the letters that anybody can find in personnel, my signature will be on all of them, that people that I knew about, that authorized gardener, hostess, or cleaner. Those positions are mentioned. So nobody will tell me that. That's the reason why when you're doing audit, you invite the auditee, the person you auditing, you write them, you tell them, so that they can give you information that you need. But when you do it in their absence, it's against the rule, against the law that establishes an auditing commission. So that before you audit somebody, you will tell them, I'm going to audit you from this period to this period. We're seeking for your cooperation. The person will evade themselves. So at the end of the audit, that person, you send them your audit report of your audit findings for their comment or their reaction.
Yeah, were you not contacted?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, but the ministry should have all of the records. So maybe they didn't necessarily need to contact you.
So then you get it wrong, because I'm the one you're auditing. You get it wrong. Then the law that established your audit commission, the audit agency, then you're violating the law.
Now,
I should be asked. I will provide my documents, because at the time the documents you're auditing is my document. It's not for the person that coming in today. So they don't have knowledge about it.
So the numbers went up to 700 plus.
I agree, including the United Partisan women there. I listened to your interview. She admitted that some people even came to her that were United Partisan.
Yeah, she said that.
So including them, they were not all seditionists.
Well, yeah, and you are confirming what former president, we have said to another outlet that, the Liberians, we needed to give something to people to do some work and everything. But
Julius.
But then in terms of leadership, yeah, I can understand the rationale for supplementary payroll. I can understand the
now
the rationale.
you come to power, Liberia, where everyone was born. We live here, and you train people up and down. Why the hatred? Why the vestation? Why? When you get on Brussels, you will meet me there. When we go Ghana, we will meet Red Banaville Junction. I just asked you when I got in here, JEH. What did you tell me? You said my J is from Maryland. Folk didn't know that Maryland, Franklin was on Maryland. So some way or the other, my father's name is Jay. So we are interrelated. So before you do something to somebody, think that that person will be connected to somebody that I know. That's the human part about it.
Yeah, but there should be law and order. There should be rules governing processes. So the question I first of all wanted to ask is: were these people working? Were they showing up? Were they actually going to work?
Of course, yes.
What are the kinds of jobs that they were doing?
Personnel, cleaner. Take for example, we get people right here to Centennial Pavilion. Ministry of State outstations are about 3.
Oh, okay.
Pavilion, Executive Pavilion, Centennial Pavilion, Executive Pavilion, then United Conference Center. Those are the 3 outstations we have. Then the Executive Mansion is.
Also, it means those who are working there are covered by MOS.
Yes. All those that are working at Centennial Pavilion, Executive Pavilion, United Conference Center, Executive Mansion are covered under the Ministry of State. They are all employees of the Ministry of State. So they were not all packed up. If you saw program coming and you saw people working at the Centennial Pavilion, those people were there as employees of the Ministry of State, and they were augmented by GSA. GSA sent employees there also. So it was not just, all of them were not just clock up in the ministry, in the foreign ministry or Ministry of State, Executive Mansion. Those are the 3 outstations you have beside the Executive Mansion.
What about the presidential places in the counties?
That falls under the GSA.
Okay. Now, she spoke about, a a process that will ensure that such things are not abused? Because part of the accusation is that you people may have abused this whole supplementary payroll thing, and you're just piling it up with people.
Now, one of the reasons why I came here, the audit report covering the period under review said that the current management of the Ministry of State did not make available newly hired supplementary personnel for verification by the audit team. If you say current, my name was mentioned. 74 persons were hired currently, 2024. I was not at the Ministry of State. So how do you connect me? She made an allegation that it was we that hired those people, and then one staff at the Ministry of State and myself were equal. Come on. A childish allegation. I'm not a child. I gave instruction. The personnel, HR has their responsibility. The account people have their responsibility. They report to me and I approve. I don't run behind paycheck for staff $150. I'm above that level for somebody to accuse me. Julius, you should know me, man.
How?
Now, if you say current administration, is President George, you are the current president of this country?
No, that was not referring to your time. It was referring to the.
Then she made connection to me at the time that this 74. She made play that tape. You will hear it.
I think it was a comparative analysis.
No.
It
was not. It was not. She said at that time I was promoted as minister. Then for the 2 years or 1.5 years I served as minister, there was no deputy minister. Do I have control to appoint a deputy minister? It's the president. If you didn't appoint a deputy minister, you cannot blame me for that.
Well,
wait.
Did you advise him on that?
Wait. Do I have control over appointment? No, I don't. Then she alleged and said, she said that my staff and myself were controlling the deputy minister's office. Come on.
Is it not true?
Our minister of state or approval. Minister of state deal with the president. Definitely the staff were there. She met the staff in the minister's office. She transferred some of them and took them from her office. Those are civil servants. They are Liberians. You don't do that. They are all Liberians. Civil servant. Civil servant rule and procedure don't go with that. There are certain positions you don't just get rid of right away. If somebody was special assistant to me, definitely, but not my secretary that was inside, because my special assistant is my special assistant. If you don't want them there, fine. But not somebody who was serving as secretary, who was serving as administrative assistant, who was a civil servant, or who was serving any other position besides special assistant. In fact, deputy minister don't have special assistant, only ministers. You don't just kick them out. Why do that? It's inhumane. This is Liberia. Government job is an assignment. Temporary assignment. So when you in it, build a bridge. So when you coming back, you will walk on that bridge. If you break it, you will not be able to cross when you come in.
Now, the financials. When you look at the audit report, it speaks about the different payments that were made during your time. How were these people paid? How?
Supplementary payroll was paid from our budget allocation. They have something called consultancy. Consultancy, you don't pay from consultancy. That's why they went above the limit. Now, she also said that the civil service, they didn't know about what we were doing. That's not true. Call the civil service director.
No. Before we get to that, I asked in terms of how were the supplementary workers paid? Were they paid at the ministry physically with physical cash?
No. The knee is placed on a supplementary payroll. You issue an ID card. The HRO assigns you. You go to your assignment. Your check comes. It goes to your account. Another allegation that she made was that I was collecting people checks. Come on, man. The check that is in Julius' journey. What authority do I have to go to the bank to cash it? It's criminal. You don't do that. They were issued checks. They were not issued cash. In those days where people used to put money in the pocket and go carry and say, you can't pay, then they pay you. No. They were issued check by the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance paid them directly.
Okay. Now, let us come to the CSA portion of it. Was the CSA under you people aware of these supplementary workers?
Now listen, you have a ceiling that was set by the World Bank on how you call it, wages. Our wage bill, you cannot exceed your wage bill that is set by the ministry, the bank. So what we did was, if we had somebody, who died, and we're taking people from the supplementary payroll to the civil service, we send their particulars to civil service. Civil service then process them in their system and issue them pen, personal action notice. Issue them pen, and the pen is filled in by HRO. If there are replacement, they bring it to me for signature. So everything we did in that ministry.
But that is for the civil servants.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the employment process of the supplementary workers, because in the other report here, it says that there was lack of approved human resource policies and procedures.
That's not true.
Did you have a human resource policy?
Of course, the policy in the Ministry of State. Call the human resource people, they got a document. I told you from the beginning that Madam Salif laid the foundation of this government, of this country. That foundation he lays includes everything that have to do with the how they call it, PFM law, PFM. So everything that is done inside there's law that govern it. Nobody went and did something out of their own mind. The guy that I employed to be my compliance officer, when I got in there was no compliance officer because I wanted to be transparent. So I employed a guy called Kessely to be my. If Kessely don't approve this, it means that when he approves it and get it to me, that I know that it meets all requirements. That's the same boy she's using today. I took him there, took him from PBCC because you're a procurement specialist. So there's nothing that I did inside there that was illegal.
Okay, now it also speaks to non-compliance with recruitment procedures. And the observation is that we observed that management did not comply with the standard
You're talking
orders.
about management current or management yesterday? The other was conducted recently.
Yeah, but it is this one is your management in
No.
terms of, because that is why it says
What research on? I got it here.
1.1.2.3. We
What
observe
is it? Read it.
we observe no evidence of written request to the Director General of the CSA containing the title, statement of the duties and responsibilities, salaries, as well as the tenures of the positions to be filled prior to the hiring of 739 supplementary personnel at MOS as required.
Supplementary payroll is not civil service payroll.
Yeah,
It's
but still,
contractual.
you said the CSA knew, so
If we are taking somebody from the contractual payroll to government payroll, CAS will be in the know. Definitely, because you got to process the pen that is personal action form to go on civil service payroll.
So it means in this case the supplementary.
What is supplementary?
The CSA was not aware.
What is supplementary?
No, that you're in government, so you can tell us. So we can establish here that the CSA wasn't aware of the supplementary process at the Ministry of State.
The Ministry of State had a supplementary payroll that was not civil service payroll
Okay, so that means that was managed exclusively.
by the Ministry of State.
Okay, good.
And it's still being managed by the Ministry of State.
Okay.
Because the 74 employees in question that when I'm property hire and illegally paid by this current administration, they say it's higher than. And according to her, they are over 100 now.
And this is the response.
Let me get it straight. When you ask her, how many supplementary you got now? She said a little over 100. You know that?
Yeah, she said that.
So this 75 is underestimated. And if you go directly by that number and you go to their payroll, it's over 200.
How do you know?
Forget it. We in Labrador.
Well, yeah, but at least we should know evidence too.
I say, go check. And I'm telling you, go check.
Okay, now, and this is the response I was giving to this thing about the 700 plus people that CSA that did not follow the process. And management's response: employment is usually done by the directive recommendation appointment from ministers, deputy ministers, and assistant ministers.
Who made that? Who gave that?
That is the management's response.
Who's of the management?
But
No, listen, this is what I said. This is what I said.
Yeah.
If you are auditing me, I must be informed to give you the appropriate response. Not in my absence. That response is not my response. So you can hold me to it. That audit was conducted without my consent. So that response is not my response.
Okay, we move on. During the audit, we observed that management did not maintain personnel records such as letter of applications, employment, appointment letters, credentials or qualifications, job description or terms of reference, personnel action notice, curriculum vitae for several of its supplementary employees for the fiscal periods under audit. We observed that the following documents were not available on the 551 employees' files reviewed: application letter for 542, employment letter for 547, TOR for 551, and all of these things. This is your time. Is it true?
Mr. J.
Yes,
Julius J.
Yes, sir.
If you go, this is what I'm saying. If you want to audit me, write me a letter. Or if I'm not there, the minister of state who is presently there, if they receive a letter from audit for an audit purpose, so their responsibility is to send me a copy of that letter and requesting my cooperation. All that information you gave me, I don't know about it because I was not informed. If I were informed, the document they wanted, I was going to provide. But they did it already in my absence. So how do you want to respond? Wait a minute. How do you want me to respond to an audit that was conducted in my absence that somebody else respond to respond to it now? It's not possible.
Well, since you're in the public space and we're asking some of these questions,
No. It has some legal implication. So I can't give you that kind of answer because I don't have those documents with me now.
Okay. But
if they knew they wanted
do they exist?
Which
The documents.
of course I listened to her and she said that they shredded the document. Come on. So HR document all gone.
But
So
who did the shredding?
No, you ask her because she said it here in your studio. She said any document we ask for, they say not there. She said it. I listened to your recording. So they shredded the document. So nothing in the ministry. That's not true. You conducted an order in my absence without my knowledge. Then you want me to respond to those lies that you put down? Because you want to run behind somebody politically? Come on.
Okay, now let me bring you to this one, and then we. It also spoke about. Okay. We observed the following irregularities associated with management of supplementary staff salaries. No evidence of an approved salary structure instituted at the entity for supplementary personnel. Did you have a salary structure?
You just listened to me and I said, all our supplementary payroll employees, majority of them were 150, the highest 250.
But was it a documented?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Is it something that was documented that was known to be the case?
Of course, we have grades, we have levels. If you're a cleaner, if you're how do you call it, a hostess, we have all that grade. So as soon as we send you for that, the people know how much you're supposed to get.
So currently, they are talking about putting in place different policies. She brought a whole dossier of documents.
That's your
different-
time.
Different draft policies, and they're even trying to turn that supplementary process over to the CSA. What do you make of that?
No, I don't have problem. That your own, that your policy. I'm not there. Whatsoever they want to do is their time. But the problem that I have is this is Liberia. Take time with the Liberians that are working for the government of Liberia. That's their government. They voted for you. Some of those people voted for you in the party. Some of them that we met there, that you train up and down today, they voted for you in the party. So be careful how you handle them, because you will need them tomorrow.
Well, when you met some of them there, was it the salary structure that was it what they were being paid?
Whatsoever salary they were making was there. We will never touch anybody's salary. If you are making 200, we met you there, the 200 remain. If you are making 500, it remains. If you are making 1,000, that's it, according to your pay grade.
Until harmonization came in.
Harmonization was a government policy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Until it came in.
Yeah.
So, just before we go to the lines, all of these things, what could be your advice? One, because you are a former lawmaker, you've been at the mansion for a very long time.
Thank you very much for that question. I came prepared for it. And I made notes on that. One of the things she said that I want to tell her, there was no turnover note. That I didn't leave a turnover note.
Is it true?
Let me tell you, turnover notes are not given to individual ministers. There was a transitional team. All turnover notes from all the ministries and agencies were placed in a very big volume of booklet. President to president. President Weah gave it to President Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai's responsibility is to divide it with his cabinet.
So that is how it was.
That's how it should be, and that's how it is. So if she want to know about Ministry of State turnover note, let her go ask her boss, President Boakai. She will get it there. It's a whole book for all turnover notes. We don't give it to individual ministers. It was not. That's why you have transitional team, and she was part of the transitional team. Maybe she forgot or she doesn't know.
So do you have a copy of the turnover note, like maybe soft copy or something?
I have my copy. It's on my phone that I turn over. I have it,
Yeah,
but I'm not authorized.
No, I said you should give me it.
Okay.
Open it. Let me see the heading. Yeah, if you can find it, let me just see the heading. That's all. No, you don't need to send it to me. I know that presidential things and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
So-
at the end of the show, I will give it to you. Let me. We don't have time here, favor. I will share it to you.
Yeah. Well, you should just
After
look
the
for
show,
it.
I will share it to you.
No, look for me. Just see the heading. Then,
I come
and then
in.
I can
I will
tell the
do
public
it.
that
I will
saw
do it. Don't worry.
Fine. I
So,
know I get plenty of documents.
To be very frank,
Uh-huh.
turnover notes are not given to deputy ministers. They are given to ministers from the president.
Okay.
So
that is when the whole volume is turned over to the incoming president.
The incoming
He
president
turns it
then-
over to his people.
his
different
people.
and
If people then know what is what. But I can turn over notes to a deputy minister.
Yeah, but because I think there was not interaction between you. I don't think there was interaction
People
between
came with
ministers.
animosity. How you
President.
call me when you come first and you start attacking me? I made my service available. I'm a flexible person. When I was Minister of State, when I was Deputy Minister of State, I drove my own car. When I was Minister of State, I drove my own car. When I was acting chair of the cabinet,
But you had assigned driver.
I don't want a driver. Nobody else. I don't want a driver, so I didn't assign driver to myself. I have a reason. Off the phone, I will tell you. So I decided.
You get plenty of secret things you can be doing in the car.
No, let me tell you.
So and you don't want anybody else noticing why you.
Ask me, say why you don't have a driver. I will tell you.
No, but you say you want to tell me off the radio.
Yeah,
So
because
I
it's
try
not-
to push you around to talk it.
One driver that I had, I went on a conference in Maryland, and I was coming back right after River G. We were in a pickup. He was climbing a hill in number 2, and the 2 failed. And then he put it in one, trying to put it in 1. It couldn't go in 1. The car fell on the peak of the hill. And then he started reversing, thinking that he wanted to lay the car against a wall. Not mean between the wall and the street there was a ditch. When he laid the car somersaulted. Before I could come to myself, he was out of the car. While I was under the car.
So since that time?
The trauma stayed in my head. So I don't do anything secret.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Now, number 2. You asked me what would be my advice.
Yeah.
Turnover notes are not for him and not for her. It's for the president. Let this government govern in the middle.
What does that mean?
They did not win the election overwhelmingly. 17,000.
No, I think it's 20 or 21. It's
Okay,
around
what are
20
20?
to 22,000.
Even
around
if there are 50,000, let them govern in the middle. Liberia is for all Liberians. Let them govern in the middle, bring everybody together to govern for them. But what they're doing, they didn't win the election overwhelmingly. The Liberian people are crying. People are grumbling. People are talking. It's not good for a government. Let them govern in the middle and embrace everybody to antagonize. It's wrong in governance.
Okay.
2. Let President Boakai see reason to bring the Liberian people together at the Peace and Reconciliation Conference, to bring Liberians together to reconcile our differences. He's a father of this nation, the oldest president in recent history. Let him bring the people together, bring the Liberians together, and not get one side, only unity partisan he cares for. Let him care for everybody. Because what? There is a tomorrow. If you don't govern in the middle and you govern one side, tomorrow, even their own partisans are crying. Only the elite are enjoying. My third point, you see the office of the president is the highest office in the land. The minister is the chief of staff. The deputy minister for administration is the deputy chief of staff. When the minister is not in the country, the deputy minister for administration acts as minister of state, and they see the president every day. Please, Madam Croa, your private life, your official life, manage it to represent the higher office in the land.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? Social media carrying her too much negatively. It doesn't represent the office of the president. It does not. The president office is the highest office. It's decency. If the president is in the country and the minister is not here, and you acting as minister, any diplomat that come to the Ministry of State, you are the first they will see. So you interact with diplomats. You interact with international guests that you don't even know. Your life must represent you.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. 777-700-995, 555-995-995. J. Gabriel Yinka, you've been on this line for a long time. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Thank you, Dakonti. And one of the reasons why I stayed on the line, I know people are aware, so I'll say it for the public record. I'll be the first to say it. The integrity idol you have in studio is my big brother. I'm not a big brother politically or socially, by blood. He just told you, for instance, yes at the Ministry of State, then yes at the Capitol building where he served as chairman on executive, the highest position at the legislature. And clearly he's been providing tutelage for the cadet turned deputy minister for administration craft. she doesn't understand what you, because just start monitoring you religiously.
Yeah, let leave that whole cadet turn thing. She is a lawyer. She has the requisite education and it's yeah.
I'm not talking about her qualifications. She's fully qualified. In fact, you add that she's more than qualified for the job.
Okay.
But the tutelage required, the mentorship that is absolutely necessary is lacking. And that's the reason why she told you when she first got to the ministry, didn't she say that supplementary rule was criminal? That's what she said. She had to admit, because she's constrained to admit that functionally and administratively you have to operate with what you call a supplementary payroll. So now she's in denial. But fast forward, look, a deputy minister for administration in the president's office in this country, an African nation, cannot carry student loans and carry beach social activities. It is demeaning to the president's office, and that's the reason why you don't understand what he's doing. They are stealing big time.
Allegedly.
And all they need to do is to come clear. No, it's clear cut.
Okay.
Getting her boss right for almost $1 million when he had the capacity. I'm talking about Sylvester Crispy. He wrote up to 95.
Okay. Let's take order, sir.
I'd like
Thanks.
to commend the minister. Let them write to him. He'll respond officially.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you. Is that we're not hearing you? Let's take somebody else on this side. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello.
Okay, Sunday.
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want you to ask the questions to your guests.
No, ask. And you on the line asking.
Okay. Did he take responsibility of bringing a public reliquary to the office of the presidency of Joshua Wonder in the office where you manage the president? 700 plus people were on salary, and today the argument is there that they were not there. In the office,
Yeah, hold on. Hello.
In the office,
Hello.
Akani.
No, wait now. Let me understand your question, Chief. You said 700 people did what?
700 persons were in that office, and then another 700 plus people. There is argument there today that most of them was never existing. They were
No. That is not true. That is not what the other report say.
Now, another one there again is that where somebody who directly representing the president would be equal or another country would be equal in that person, sanction with the understanding that person is corrupt. Do you also feel that you have never mismanaged the office of the president?
Okay, thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's the name?
Moiba Johnson, the Civil Servant President.
Go ahead, Moiba.
Okay, I want to first of all thank you for bringing in the former officials of government. Julia, I'm one person that is so saddened to see so many of our compatriots laid off by this government at the executive mansion. But can I ask the former official of government, you think was an error made by not transitioning these people or those people that were on the payroll, on the supplementary payroll, on the GOL payroll? Was that an error?
Okay, he will answer that. Let me take a few more before we come back to him. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Big Brother Julius.
Yes, go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Simomo Masako, and I'm calling from Ranashi Coconut Plantation Community.
My man, what can you put on your phone? Your voice sounding so heavy like that. But go ahead. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
So let me say thank you to the OKFA family and thank you to your studio girls. There are a few things that I captured in all of his elaboration. When he said, it is about time that the president mustered the courage to unite the people through a conference. It's very important to admit the country is seriously divided between political allies. And living a day cannot help Liberia in any way. And only the president can muster that courage.
Okay.
So I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's take this one from overseas quickly, then we'll go back to him. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in my personal view, for the fact that they have a supplementary payroll that's not going to be CSA, is an is
No,
that, you need to pay them.
so certain people, according to both sides, the explanation I've heard, certain people are not civil servants, but for example, presidential staff. Me, if I am president, people working for me and blah 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 cannot be civil servant because if I'm leaving the presidency when another president comes, you're not taking them to be working for him and all those kinds of stuff. So that's the whole rationale
Then
of
there
the.
should be an entity. Then there should be an entity solely responsible for that aspect.
Okay.
Created by the national government.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then two, I got a question for him. Why is it that every government that comes to power, when you guys come to studio, because I remember 7 years ago when you guys came to studio, you said the party left, everything empty, you met no document, you can't trace anything. And then 7 years later, the party came to power, and they say you guys left nothing. So are you guys telling me that you guys go to government and meet nothing there and leave with nothing there?
But he didn't say that when we're asking about what they inherited. He said the laws and everything that President Salih worked with was what they were working with, and former President Weah respected those laws. That's what he said. But thanks so kindly. We go back to him now. We have just 2 minutes, sir.
Okay.
There was a key question about.
A key question that was asked.
Yeah.
Why do people were not placed on the payroll? Whether it was a mistake.
It
was not a mistake. The Ministry of State was given a ceiling for wages.
Okay.
$1 above that ceiling. Finance Ministry will not honor it. So what we were doing was to replace. If somebody died, if somebody traveled and is not in the country, we replace them from the supplementary payroll, we put you on the payroll. So in summary, you could not go $1 above the ceiling from the Ministry of Finance. And that ceiling was set by World Bank.
Okay. Other issues you want to respond to that?
Which issue? That one caught my attention.
Okay. So thanks so kindly, sir, for being here. What will be your parting comments?
My parting comments will be, let's be in Liberia as Liberians. Let us work together as Liberians. Nobody must run behind their friend. And we must know how to attack each other because character pays a lot. So, some people build their character over the years. And just in a second, somebody to come and just castigate and say things are not true. It's not healthy for our society. These things that they want across the world in 1990, let us stop. Liberians are tired with confusion. They are tired with too many things happening. Let us be together as Liberians. Today is Unity Party, tomorrow it might be another party. When that other party come, or day after tomorrow it might be another party. When that other party come, we are all Liberians, and the highest employer in the land is government. Don't throw people up and down.
Okay.
Thank you.
His name is Wese Blamo, Minister of State, the final one during the term of President George Weah then. My name is Julius J. I'll be back here on Monday. Blessing Rejoice. Nimlan was behind the cameras. Abraham was our technical man. We're there outside. We are out. See you.